or the next. This is going to be a look at what's going on with your connection with your person of interest. We're going to do like a you versus them spread where I pull some cards for you and some cards for the person that you're thinking about, interested in at the moment. And we're going to get a gist of basically how you guys are both feeling or where you guys are at with this connection. Intentions, emotions, hidden subconscious energy, all that jazz. If you want to see future videos from me and you're not yet subscribed, make sure that you do so. If you do enjoy this reading and you feel like it resonated with you, leave me a comment, like the video, and let's go ahead and jump in. So what we're going to start with first is your emotional state as a whole when it comes to this connection and your person of interest. So the first cards that we have, Aquarius, we have the Strength card, the Four of Pentacles, and also the Ace of Wands. So your emotional state. Some of you, okay, let's start with my Aquarius who have been dealing with someone for some time now. You could feel like it's really hard for you to contain maybe your frustrations, especially if you have been repeatedly expressing things that you want your person to maybe do or maybe not do in the connection. There could even be things that this person does in the heat of their anger or the heat of their frustration where it's like, okay, I need you to work on your anger so that we can actually keep this relationship intact, especially if it gets really, really bad where they're just kind of impulsive whenever they get really, really frustrated. But yeah, if you've been dealing with this person for some time, you could be in a space to where it's like, okay, am I holding this person back? Why do they act like when we're not together that they're, you know, doing their thing? Or whenever we're not dealing with each other, they seem a lot less defensive. Now they seem more open to things whenever you're shutting down. And you could be at a space to where you don't really quite understand it. Another thing I'm seeing, you could be at a space to where you just don't know how much more you can give in terms of support and trying to be there for them when it may be something that they don't want to accept. You could be trying to understand, like, why are they kind of refusing to accept my support or my love and how I'm trying to pour into them. You could also feel like they do things that make you a bit insecure. Like they could say things like, oh, da da da, my ex, or they could bring up other women, or they could do things with other people where it just kind of may bring a level of insecurity. Now, when it comes to your person or your person of interest, emotional state, what is my Aquarius's person of interest current emotional state when it comes to how they feel about my Aquarius and the connection? So I have the Three of Cups, the Six of Cups, and also the Knight of Pentacles. So if this is a person who you've been dealing with for some time, they could be feeling like where you guys are at in the past is a bit disconnected from where you guys are at now, in a way where they don't know if you want to still work on things. They don't know if they should still work on things. With the Three of Cups in reverse, there could be certain friends or certain people outside of the relationship, family members, that try to impose on the connection in terms of their opinion. And they could feel emotionally affected by that, especially if this is like your family where your family doesn't like them or your friends may not necessarily like them. If this is someone who you've been dealing with for some time and they may have, you know, cheated or dealt with other people, it could be a situation where they're realizing that they don't necessarily deal with other people and that they actually do miss how things were in the past. It's just they understanding to actually work on things. Now, this is a person who is fairly new that you're dealing with romantically. They really want to make sure you're not dealing with other people or that you're not going to be a repeat of their past. They could have a deep fear of this. So they could be very slow or maybe not even take action at all when it comes to building things because it's a protection mechanism. I don't want to be disappointed, which is confusing. Now, when it comes to intention, what are my Aquarius's true intentions when it comes to their person? What do you want from this connection deep down? So we have the Three of Swords in reverse, the King of Swords, and also the Four of Wands in reverse. So for my Aquarius who have been in a relationship for some time, or dealing with this person or interested in this person for some time, you want to reach a point to where this person truly does apologize or takes accountability for certain things, or even extends a level of forgiveness if this is like a vice versa situation. Because Three of Swords in reverse is like, yeah, I was disappointed, but it's forgiven, or there's accountability being taken. So it could be a situation where you would love if this person did actually take accountability, and then you could feel like this is a starting point in them taking that accountability and doing so. For others of you, it could be a situation where you really want your person to heal. You could see that they're still subconsciously affected by a bad marriage or a bad family situation, or even things that they've seen growing up that were not healthy affects the foundation of things. So you could really want your person to heal. Another thing that I'm seeing in terms of your intentions, to communicate how you've been feeling, especially if you have been biting your tongue, I think you could be intending to do so, or there's certain things that you're maybe realizing and coming to understanding where it's like, oh, I really want to express myself about this. Now, going into their intentions, what is my Aquarius person of interest? True intentions for my Aquarius. What are they, wanting deep down? So I have the Two of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. So if this is a person you've been dealing with for some time, they may be still trying to figure that out. Like with the Two of Wands, this is two different paths, two different approaches, and knowing that depending on what you do next is going to lay out a totally different path for you. So for them, subconsciously, that could be a problem where they're still trying to figure out like, okay, am I going to approach things this way? Do this? Am I going to stay? Am I going to go? Am I, going to deal with this person? Am I like, they could be very conflicted within themselves. And that's why they may not be very clear in their actions. So I think that they care about you, but they don't really have clear intentions because they're going based off of how it feels in the moment. Now, going into the hidden or subconscious things, what is hidden below the surface or in the subconscious of my Aquarius when it comes to their person of interest? What are their fears, hopes, certain patterns that are present here? So I have the King of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Two of Cups. So in terms of hopes, you could be hoping that you and your person of interest, you guys just get to a place of happiness where you guys are both on the same emotional plane. You guys have clarity. You guys have understanding. Okay, you guys are, having fun. That certain frustrations that you guys, may have at the moment, they just get under control. Okay, certain Aquarius watching this, you could hope that their family starts to accept you, or that your family starts to accept them. Okay, now a fear or fears that you could have a fear that they're going to try to reconnect with someone who they may have children with, or that they may try to go off and explore what else is out there and just leave you high and dry. Now, when it comes to more so patterns that are present, some of you could get really frustrated with this person, and there could be a pattern of like shutting down where it's like, you know what, I'm going to block this person. Or there could be certain like people that you have around you where maybe you telling them certain things about your situation just frustrates you more. So it's knowing who to divulge, your challenges to. Now, when it comes to the hidden or subconscious energy around your person of interest, What are their hopes and fears and patterns that may exist when it comes to this person my Aquarius are interested in? So I have the Page of Cups, the Nine of Swords, and also the Page of Wands. Okay, so hopes. Let's start there. They could hope that you don't move on and date somebody who could be better than them. Like they could be in a space to where they have deep insecurity of you maybe connecting with someone else who could show you what maybe you've been missing, or could swoop in and take you from them, hypothetically, in moments where you're frustrated or overwhelmed with them. So they could worry about whether or not you'll find someone else. Another fear that they could have is if you'll get to a point of being so frustrated with them that you just won't want anything to do with them. If there's a new person, they could have like a fear of you not finding them interesting. That you could find them to be attractive, but you may not find them to be interesting or worth taking serious. So they could be very on edge in regards to like watching your movements to see if it is rooted in something substantial. Well, that was fears. Going into patterns here, they could have a pattern where they act like they're not interested to more so protect themselves, but they genuinely are. So this could look like maybe being passive aggressive or being, you know, a lot harder to connect with. But it's not because they're not interested. It's because they could just be very, very careful about how much they show their interest before knowing 100% that things are just not from a lustful place. If this is a new person who you're dealing with, okay? Now, going into just the overall direction of things, where is this connection between my Aquarius and their person of interest headed? So I have the Emperor, the Moon card, and also the Ten of Pentacles. So where is this connection headed? If this is a person who you may have children with, you guys will try to explore dating each other long-term again. Just having to confront worries about cheating, worries about this going bad again, and also things that just never were addressed on a subconscious level due to how things ended in the first place. I think you guys will have to address this. If this is someone who you don't have children with, but this is someone who you want to build with, you could be just trying to assess pretty much how they're showing up. I think you'll continue to do this. Some of you will actually end up getting into a relationship with them. You could worry about whether or not they are, you know, planning to deal with someone who they may have either an extended history with or children with themselves. If this is a newer person coming into your life, again, I just get this assessing of things. I think that addressing with the Moon card certain worries and fears and doubts and just concerns is going to be a big focal point. What's the advice for my Aquarius when it comes to their person of interest and their connection with them? What's the advice? I got the Eight of Swords in reverse, the Five of Cups, and also the Fool card. So the advice is to not approach things from a place of feeling limited or limiting yourself in terms of your viewpoint. Okay, especially if this is from a grief standpoint. If you're going to work on a relationship with a person that you've been dealing with for some time and you have went through some, you know, stuff, really ask yourself and be honest. Are you at a place to where you can heal and also keep this person in your life and look at where you guys can grow from what you guys have been through? Or do you feel like you're still at that phase where you're focused on how this person may have hurt you and put you through things? Because that will determine if this will be successful or not. If you don't genuinely believe in your heart that you could even forgive them, then this could manifest as you being on edge 24/7, you being focused on not the connection itself, but the grief of the connection, and essentially just being in the connection to recapture what was, but not being able to move past what happened, which is a very sticky situation to be in. So assess whether or not you can truly heal alongside this person that may have, you know, put you through some things. For my other Aquarius, if this is a newer connection, do not go into this with a limited belief around your love life, where it's like, oh, dating sucks. Every person that I end up dating, they don't want me for me. Like, stay away from those type of narratives that are rooted in you just reflect on things from your past and just taking bits and pieces from that, but not seeing the whole picture. Because this could actually stop you in your tracks from actually starting fresh. And if you do have anyone who has this thought process and you do find this to be exhausting in terms of dating, assess whether or not you can handle someone who may be going through this process right now of focusing on their past and limiting themselves in terms of their beliefs. But this is what I see. I hope that this was helpful and did give you insight. If you enjoyed, definitely thumbs up the video and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.